Hey y'all, welcome to Crafting with Cami. I am super excited about today's video. I'll be walking you through my scrapbooking process, how I print my pictures, my plans for 2024, and best of all, we're going to be finishing some scrapbook layouts today. So grab your cup of coffee and let's go ahead and get started. So a little bit behind my scrapbooking process. A lot of times I will print the pictures first and then create the layout around those pictures. But I have also been creating several layouts with no pictures. So I just kind of go with the paper pack that I'm working with and just create something pretty. And I have found that this actually makes me a lot more intentional about how many pictures I'm printing, how big I'm printing those pictures, making sure that I can fit everything on a double page layout. Before, I would print a ton of pictures. I would order them, whether it was through Shutterfly or some other printing company. I would print just hundreds of pictures at a time, and then I would feel overwhelmed with how many pictures I have and trying to fit all of those on a double page layout, or feeling guilty if I went on to a third or fourth page. So doing it this way, I've become a lot more intentional about which pictures I'm printing. I also got a Selphy CP1200 printer. I absolutely love this printer. I use it all the time. This is the one I use. It does print a 4x6 and then smaller. I'll show you how I print my pictures on that. But it doesn't do bigger than a 4x6. So I do have my Brother and my Epson printer. Those are like my everyday printing document printers. So I use those if I'm printing anything larger. I can put a larger piece of photo paper in there, and then I can print a 5x8 or larger, whatever size there. So love my Selfie. I'll be showing you more of that. But back to my printing. So my husband and I am caught up on my scrapbooking. We've been together for 7.5 years, and I've scrapbooked up until today. I have some November 2023, December 2023, and then we're into January now. So I am pretty well caught up on my scrapbooking, and that's good and bad. It's great that I have it all documented, but also sometimes I wish I had more pictures that I could put onto my layouts. So these layouts here that we're going to be doing today, I created around photos that I have on my phone right now that I can print out. Or this one, the new paper pack, I think this is the Gnomes for Winter, it had these snowshoes on them. And we just got snowshoes this year. So I'm like, well, this paper pack will be perfect. We're going snowshoeing this winter. So I created this layout not having any pictures taken yet. And then we went snowshoeing last week. So now I have those photos, and I'll be showing you my thought process on putting them onto these layouts now. My plans for this year. I am planning on doing a 6x8 book of 2024. And those will be my everyday pictures. So I'm going to do a 12x12 of things I have a larger story for. So going for big hikes, or going snowshoeing for the first time, or birthday parties we're going to, holidays. I'll still have my 12x12 book in progress, but I am creating a 6x8 book, and that'll be the everyday pictures that we take. How many pictures of sleeping dogs do you have on your phone? Because I have pictures of my dogs sleeping, and there's hundreds of them. Why am I putting that into my 12x12 book and taking up even more space? I'm going to be real with you. 2023 has 3 albums. Why do I have 3 albums for 1 year? So I'm hoping I can condense that to at least 2, hopefully 1 this year, 1 12x12, and then have all those everyday photos that I just can't part with into my 6x8. And I'm thinking of doing a weekly. So I'll be hopefully uploading videos of that weekly as well. But so I only want 52 pages in the 6x8 album. I want that to be like the highlights of that week, minus all of the huge events that are going into the 12 by 12. So let me grab my cover page for that. I did get that finished, and I'll be right back. All right, so here is the cover page that I created. So beautiful new beginnings 2024 coming next. So that is my cover page. I'm not sure what picture I'm putting on yet. And then I have these, I found these little like bullet journal stencils in my stash, and I thought those would be cute to keep with this album. So like the music I'm listening to, the I don't know if I go grocery shopping that day and take any pictures, or what the weather's doing. That would be really fun. Yesterday was negative 20 degrees. So that'd be fun to stencil in this snowflake and then put negative 20 degrees in that week. And then, yeah, all those pictures of the pups I said I had, just stencil those around, or just what's going on that week. I thought that would be nice. And then I did get my first and second weeks somewhat done. I may add a little to these, add some embellishments. But that is what I'm thinking. Like week 1, week 2, do some journaling. Like, look at how beautiful those farm fresh eggs are. How can I not put those in a book? But I just don't think they need to be in my 12 by 12 book, because they don't have a story behind them. We just got our eggs. So that's my plan for 2024, having a small album and then my big main album. Another thing I like to have on hand all the time, but especially when I'm printing my pictures, are flip-flops. So my main sizes are the 3x3, the 3x4, and the 4x6. Those are what I print in most. I do have some 4x4 typically, but I'm not going to pull those out yet. And then we offer all the sizes on the website. So I recommend having those on hand, especially if you're doing what I'm doing today, putting pictures onto pre-made layouts. So if you have more pictures or you don't have room for your journaling, you can put those flip-flops on, you can do your journaling behind and add more pictures that way. So let's go ahead and show you my printer and how I get my pictures to the size I want. I go to print my pictures, I go to my gallery, and I organize my pictures from events or from layouts that I want to do. So here I have different Christmas pictures. Here's a December. We have January. So that's how I organize my albums. So now when I go to print them, let's go ahead and say this snowshoeing day. So I have 4 pictures. On my layout, I have a horizontal 4x6, 1 vertical 3x4, 2 horizontal 3x4, and 1 4x6 vertical. So I have way more pictures on my layout than I do of this particular day. But we'll be going snowshoeing again, and it doesn't bother me if I have 2 days on one page. It's the same activity. So this one here, I want largest. That's me and my husband. So that one, I want a horizontal 4x6. The Selphy has an app. So when you open the Selphy app, this is the screen that comes up. And it already has some combination layouts, things like that. So my first picture of my husband and I want a large 4x6 horizontal. So we'll go ahead and click on that one. And then it's in my smartphone, and I'll just go to the album that says snowshoeing. Okay, here's the one that I want large. And this is the best part. So here's the photo. I want a white border around it. I always border my pictures in white. Typically always. It's something I like to do. It makes the photos pop. Okay, his head's a little cut off. So let's go ahead and select the photo, rotate and crop, and we can just bring it down a little bit. so we can see more of his head, less of my shoulders. And we can see more of the walking path behind us. Okay, let's go ahead and hit print. Are you sure you want to print this? Okay. Is this the selfie you want to use? Yes. And then we'll just hit print. I'll turn my phone around here and show you what the printer looks like. So here's the printer. All I did was turn it on. I already have it set up to link to my phone. So if I wanted to adjust anything, there's different options right there, but it is set. The nice thing about the Selphy is the ink cartridge. There's only one. Let me just pop that out. There's only one. You don't have to switch out your blue ink, switch out your red ink. It's all in one. Okay. And then the photo paper. This is what the photo paper looks like. It has perforated edges, so your photos are not going to come out exactly 4x6. It will be a little shorter since it does have that perforation. And then the way it just prints, it's not exact sizes, but I've gotten used to that and I'm fine with that. I like it. So you put the paper up, glossy side up, the side that prints up. We'll just get that closed. What's awesome about this is the ink is the perfect amount of ink for what the amount of papers that come in a package. Let me show you how the package comes. So this is how the package comes. It comes with 108 sheets, and the sheets are divided into several of the separate packages. Okay, each 2 packages equal 1 ink. So when you purchase this, it comes with 3 inks, 6 packages. And it's awesome. You just know when you're going to run out of ink. If you see there's only 1 piece of paper left, you know you're going to need to buy more ink. So I love that. And it's really cool how it prints. Let me go ahead and get one printing. All right, so it says that it's busy. So my picture is being read through the printer. Here you can see it's printing the yellow, and it comes out the back. Now it's printing the red. Now you can see on the screen it's printing the blue. And then it prints like a white or a clear coat. It's hard to see on the screen, but there is a dot for that as well. Isn't that so cool? So you do want to make sure that you have room behind the printer because it does shoot out the back. Not very far, but it does. Okay, here is our picture now. See how that perforation, so that just snaps right off. There we go, and we'll do that other side. So if you want the exact dimensions, we're looking at, this is very hard one-handed. We're looking at, oh goodness, 5 and about 3/4 by 4. And there has been times that I just cut down a little bit on the white border and don't keep as much white around, depending on my layout. Let's go ahead and print a couple 3x4s. So I'm just going to hit back on this home page. Do you want to discard this picture? Yes, I already printed it. So this one down here, it shows that it's divided by 2. Let's click on that option, and you can even print smaller. So if you wanted to fit 4 pictures on a 4x6, that would get you 2x3s or 4x3s. Let's go ahead and do a 4x3. Again, we're going into the snowshoeing album. I want to print all 3 of these in 3x4s. So let's go ahead and select OK. I have 1 vertical and 3 horizontals on my layout. So let's go ahead and make one of these. We'll go ahead and do this one as a vertical. There's a lot of space at the bottom of snow. There's a lot of sky up at the top. We can shrink that down. So I selected that photo, selecting the rotate, and we can rotate it. Let's bring it to, there we go. And then we can make it bigger. So now it's a 3x4. I can center myself. We can zoom in more if we want, but I want to see the sunset and I want to see my snowshoes. So, and I might want a little sky just for color, but I want to for sure keep it inside of those white lines. That's what makes it the 3x4. There we go. I like that. Maybe up a little bit. Okay. So that is good. We'll say okay. Now we have a horizontal. We have a vertical. I want to zoom in just a tad there as well. There's a lot of snow at the bottom. So cutting off the bottom, but keeping the top right at that edge. Okay. And then we have one more photo, clicking the arrow of our snowshoes. And that one I don't need to crop or anything, so that one is good. We have this open spot. I don't want to waste that opportunity to print another picture. Then I just run out of paper that much sooner. So if I click on that, I can go to my other albums. Let me go back to my gallery. Okay, so here's the albums I still need to print. Let's do White Christmas. Okay. We'll go ahead. These are my dogs. This is my husband. This is our little family. We got a Bernese and a Great Dane. This was our first snowfall of the year. Well, major snowfall. There was one in October, but it was just a dusting. So this one here, we'll go ahead and print. Let's do this one in the 3x4. Okay, so now that I know which picture I'm going to do, I'm going to go back to my Selphy app, choose the album, White Christmas is the album name, and then this one where she's looking up like, what is falling? So cute. And then it's very far away, so let's go ahead and crop that down and zoom in on her cute little face. Okay, I am happy with that. Let's go ahead and do the print preview. Are you sure you want to print it? Oh, and you can see I left that border on. It remembers what you did last time. So it kept that white border around those. We'll say okay. Are you sure you want to use that printer? Yes. Go ahead and print. And this screen, it changes for each. So you can see this is printing image 1 of 2. That'll change and you'll see the 2 that it's printing next. I'll go ahead and switch my camera over to the printer again. One thing you may have noticed with my albums on my phone is I don't have very many. I break them down between months, events, and then I have an external hard drive that I put all of my pictures and videos on. So I will put them all onto that, and then as I scrapbook, I delete them off my phone. Then I don't risk scrapbooking duplicates. I don't keep that storage space on my, I get to keep more storage space on my phone. I just find that easiest for me. If somebody asks to see a picture, sorry, it's no longer on my phone, it's in my scrapbook. So even a better reason to get my scrapbook out and show them what I've been working on. That's how I keep my pictures organized. So let's go ahead. I've gotten a couple pictures printed already. Let's go ahead and get these pictures onto the pages. And then I want to show you how I do squares. Okay, I am bringing in those finished layouts. So this was the one that I wanted to document the snowshoeing on. So here's that 4x6 we printed. Again, the size isn't exact. And then I have these two. I'm just going to tear off those perforated edges. Okay. I love my little Fiskars cutter. So we will get these ones cut apart. Now, the border going around, this is the exact same width, well, probably not exact, but this is the same width as this. When we go to cut these pictures apart, it's going to half that. So if we want the same border all the way around, we're also going to have to cut this side, and this side. Make sense? So let's go ahead and cut in half first. Okay, see how that side's a little more narrow? We'll just go ahead and trim the rest. And like I had mentioned, these aren't exact 3x4s or 4x6s. I'm okay with that. I've gotten used to that. It doesn't bother me. It does create a little more work when I go to put them on a finished layout. And let me show you why. Okay, this one here. So I have this photo mat cut 6 1/4, probably by 4 1/4. Okay, yeah. This isn't an exact 4x6, so I'm going to have more. I left the embellishments up a little bit. I'm going to have more border on the sides than I do at the bottom. This is covering some of, my title is covering some of that mat. So this is kind of a bad example because I can just move this picture up and it doesn't hurt that at all. I can even slide my picture under that a little bit so I can keep the border going all the way around. But this one here, that actually has a pretty solid border going around. What I'm trying to say is sometimes if you cut your photo mats first and you don't take into consideration this isn't that exact size, you're gonna have more or less border on some of the edges. So you may just need to trim your photo a little more or less. It doesn't bother me, might bother you. So this photo is going here. This photo is gonna go down here. And then next time we go snowshoeing, I'll print one for here. All right. Let's go ahead and get these adhered down. When I make the layout before the pictures, I don't put adhesive where I know my photo is gonna go, so I can just slide them right in. If you want to add adhesive afterwards, that's easy enough. I I don't add too much adhesive. I've never had scrapbooks fall apart, so. And then I just eyeball and make sure I have the right amount going all the way around. It's crazy to think that it was 10 degrees Fahrenheit when we were out snowshoeing last week. Now, yesterday, overnight, it was negative 20. Negative 20 degrees Fahrenheit. That's cold. Not going snowshoeing in that, sorry. We need to trim this one down a little more. Or cut it in half and then trim it down. This one I'll trim when I go to put that on my layout. Okay. Actually, the lines are pretty good too. Okay, and then down here I can put where we were, the date. The date might actually go on this little tag. That's cute. So this layout is done for now. It's not going into my book yet because I need one more picture. So next time we go snowshoeing, I'll get that picture taken. One more thing I wanted to explain. When you're printing your picture, I could have always made this into a collage using a different app. Make it a collage of 2 pictures or square pictures. I could have made this a collage of multiple. So then when I go to put that picture into the Selphy app, it'll automatically print this 3x4 into those collages. And then I could cut those apart. You're not going to have the white border unless your collage app has that feature. But that's another way that you can get multiple sizes out of the Selphy. Just keep collaging it into smaller and smaller pictures. Let me go ahead and show you how I print my square pictures. This layout, I will be printing a 4x4 square and then 2 2x2s. Let me go ahead and share my screen on my phone and show you how I get those printed. Selphy app. If I scroll down, there's this combination layout. We can do 4x3, and that'll have 3 different rectangles on there, or we can do square. I'll be selecting the square option this time. This would also be a good option, this 4x3, if you wanted to trim down your other. So this will be a 4x3, and then these would be 2x3s. You could trim those to be 3x3s, not 3x3s because they're only 2, but you could do 2x2s. So you could print 2 squares and a rectangle using that option, but I'm going to do the 3 squares this time. I know it's in the Crafting with Cami folder. This is a layout I made documenting my YouTube and Instagram. So this is the one that I want big, and then I have 2 QR codes. I want my picture bigger, so we'll select that and drag it over to the big section, and then we'll kind of center that a little bit. I got my close to my heart order. Does anybody else get that excited? And then here's the YouTube link, and then we'll zoom in on the Instagram. Okay. We'll go ahead and get those printing. Sometimes it says it won't communicate, but if you just try again. There we go. Those will be printing, and I'll show you how I get them cut down. All right, the picture's printed. I left that white border around through the Selphy app. If you saw this process video, you'll see I added some little beads in my florals. Aren't those so cute? I didn't add those in the video. It was an afterthought, but I like them. They're cute. Okay, so we'll rip off the perforated edge. And then we will bring in our Fiskars cutter. And again, that border, we just cut this edge, so now I want to make these all equal. I don't want more white around some of the edges. And then, beautiful picture of me. I think that'll work. Let's see what these two switched around would look like. I almost like that better because this one's more grounding. It's more black and it kind of ties those in. So we'll just slide that up under here, under that flower, just to make sure we have the same teal going all the way around. All right, and then here will go my journaling, and that'll be ready for the book. Ta-da! I will go ahead and get some more pictures printed, and then I will bring you along to the process of putting them on those layouts. So stay tuned. I got my pictures printed. I actually printed them 3x4 with no border, and then I cut them down to 3x3. So as we had mentioned, they're not exact sizes when they print on the Selphy. So as you can see here, there's white on the top and bottom, but there's no white border on the sides. So I am just going to take a hair off of the sides. So that we have the same border all the way around, and that looks good to me. So I'm going to adhere that one down. Make sure I get it centered now. Okay, this one. Now this one actually looks pretty dang good. This is one of those layers, or this is one of those layouts that you guys haven't seen yet. I did this one off camera. I didn't film it. I added I used my white pigment ink and just splattered my snowflakes. Do you see that? And then I didn't have pictures for this one when I created the layouts. These pictures were taken on Christmas Day, but it was our first big snowfall, so I'm not doing the Christmas theme with it. And a little off either the top or bottom. I think I'm gonna go off the bottom. Perfect. Let's move over to this side. I had more pictures than what I had spots for. So this is a prime example. I narrowed it down so I have one flip flap, and then these ones will be straight down. So I want this one on top. This one will be in the flip flap, so this one needs to be adhered. And it's actually the right size. This is one of those photos I was talking about earlier. Do we really need it in our 12 by 12 scrapbooks? It's my dog, my Great Dane. She was having so much fun running in the snow. The snow kind of gave her the zoomies, and it was adorable, so I captured it. And then it's one of those that it's... If that would have been its own story, that probably would go in my 6x8 album this year. But because we were outside with her and taking family pictures, these aren't really family pictures. We really should hire family pictures done again, but they work. Our Bernice is getting old and having some health issues, so I'd like to get some nice family pictures with her before we can't anymore. I kind of adhered that snowflake down a little too much. There we go. That's all very nice. All right, that's how this page turned out. So with the flip flaps, I adhere them to the layout directly. I also adhere them to the page protector on the outside. It just kind of depends. If there's a lot of embellishments going on and I haven't adhered my pictures down yet, or the flip flap, a lot of times I'll go on the outside of the page protector. In this case, there's no embellishments around this photo. I didn't put adhesive all the way up on the sides. I usually don't. I like to keep my adhesive in the center just in case I want something underneath before I put it in my permanent album. So in this case, I'm actually going to put the flip flap directly onto the page, and then I'll cut my page protector. So I will be using a 3x3 flip flap, and I want it to flip up. So I need to put my pictures, one of them needs to be upside down, so when it flips, okay? And I like to adhere them together so they don't separate or move around. There's a little dog hair in there, and you know what? It's gonna stay. Adhere them together so they don't move around in the page protector. Now, because they don't print exact sizes, I can see some of my picture. I'm going to trim that off. I don't want to see that white back of the picture. And then I just slide it in. I want this one on the top, so it's gonna go like this. That one's gonna be upside down. Make sure that is centered and all the way down at the top, bottom. Okay, it's all the way in, it's straight, it's centered. So when we go to put this on, I'm actually going to tuck it back behind the, can you even see that? I tuck it back behind that blue photo mat. And then I want it lined up with the picture. The picture lined up with the picture. Needs to go down a little bit more. So it's gonna go right there. Okay. Get a hold of that, make sure I'm exactly where I want to be, and then just pull that off. And once this is down, it is down. It is so sticky. All right, there is the flip flap. I'll do some close-ups of this layout. And that flip flap. All right, this layout is complete. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one. This is going to be a layout I created for our cookie day. Every year, my mother-in-law comes over and we all bake cookies. So, of course, the dogs help. And I am not a fan of the picture of me, but I was there, so I'm going to include me, but I'm going to put myself in a flip-flap because that's not a nice picture. So I'm actually going to have quite a few flip-flaps on this layout. I have a lot of pictures. Actually, not quite a few, just 2 flip-flops. So in this case, I created the layout before we even had cookie day. I created the layout with some cookie embellishments, knowing that I was going to take pictures this day. I don't have a flip-flop holds 2, so when you do a flip-flop, you get 3 pictures on there, unless you cut them smaller. This one only has 2 horizontals, so I will add my journaling into this flip-flop. I like this picture the best because my husband is looking and being goofy, so I'll go ahead and adhere this one down, and then this one I will put in a flip-flop with a journaling spot. This one I just want to make sure I don't need to cut the picture at all. And this I printed without a white border. Since I have the white photo mat, I'll use that as my white border. Okay, and then for this flip-flop, I want me and which one I want on top. This one, Colin's kind of angled that way. And this one, my mother-in-law is angled that way. So I think I'll put this one on top, me underneath. So that means Jesse's gonna go there. Those of you that have dogs, do they always have to be in the center of everything? My dogs have to be right underfoot at all times. Alright, so then this one will be a flip-flop over Jessie since she's in that one. Yeah, that'll look good. Okay, so again, we're going to adhere these back to back. We'll make one upside down. And I don't want to see that white border in the flip-flop, so I'm going to cut that down. Okay. Grab a 3x4 flip-flop. Okay. Make sure it's folded over good. I got that started. And this one we're just going to slide right under the picture. Make sure it's all lined up. And then we'll just pull that backing off. So it did go over this embellishment, but you can still see through the flip-flop, so that does not bother me at all. And there we go. So this one is going to be a flip-flop here. I just don't want to adhere that yet since I need to do my journaling and adhere that onto the back of this. And then I'll get that in my flip-flop. There's another finished layout. All right, this one has a lot of, I made my own pattern paper. I used those cookie cutouts again, and that's also where I got this from. This layout is going to be documenting making a whole bunch of cookies with my friend. She was going to Guatemala for a missions trip, and part of their fundraising was baking cookies. She had to make 360 cookies. So I went over there, we drank wine, we had a good time making cookies. So this is documenting that memory. I printed this one with a white border. That's going to be my main photo. And then these I cut without borders. They're 3x4s. So I am thinking of doing those here. So I will want some white behind. I don't think I want them directly onto that pink. I feel like I need something in between. So I'm actually going to bring out some of my white cardstock. So let's go ahead and cut these down 3x3. So I'll have one flip flap and one non. Let's go ahead and cut these all down here. Okay, choosing the ones that I like the best. This one is showing how many we did. The journaling was on, it was a Snapchat. It was over along that side, but I think that's okay to have on the front. And then this one's kind of a funny story. We started the parchment paper on fire, so the whole house smoked up. We couldn't figure out what it was. We're like, is your oven, like, does it normally smoke this much? Because it wasn't that dirty or anything. It wasn't like there was food burning on the bottom. So we're like, what is going on? And then we finally realized we started the parchment paper on fire. So I think I want these two on top. So, and then I just need one on a flip flap. So I might actually do this one down, and then the other one on the flip flap. So this is the one that needs a white border. And I think this piece of scratch paper is perfect for that. And I might do the flip flap on this side. Now, this photo, I feel like it's just kind of getting lost. Karina's wearing a pink shirt. It's the same color as this one actually. So I feel like this gets lost. And I already have black in here. Let's go ahead and mat this on black. So it'll be white, black, pink. And I'm taking a 3x3 flip flap again. I'll adhere these together. Baking 360 of these cookies. I unwrapped 360 kisses. I like to say I kissed every single cookie. All right, and there's that flip flap. And then for my journaling on this one, I think I will do some either strip journaling, maybe down here, with just my adhesive strips, so I can journal on it, and then put that down there, tell some of the funny stories and the good time we had and how many cookies we made. Goodness. All right, this one is finished. Let's move on. This layout was part of a collaboration. That video will be linked down below. So that one is recorded. I have a vertical 3x4, and then these are all 3x3s. These photos here, this is the truck, the older pickup they were working on, and then they also work on semis, and my father-in-law is a goof, so had to document that. So we'll go ahead and cut these down 3x3. Who sands and eats chips at the same time? He does. That's who. How does this even look like the same truck? Okay. I am thinking maybe like this, since these are both angled this way. They're actually screenshots from a video. And no, he was not doing it for the camera. He was just doing it, and my husband happened to catch it on camera. Okay. So these all have that white border already around. Ran out of tape. Goodness. Okay, now this one. It doesn't look bad without the white border. Let's see how good it looks with though. I think I want to add just the slightest. And this one, I may do the journaling right down here. So that's how that layout turned out. All right, this layout, just one 4x6 photo. It's us going out with some friends. This was back in November. So fall layout, kind of going back in my stash. So I printed this one with the border. That'll fit perfect. There is a slight, not even very noticeable, but on these sides, there's a little more yellow for how it printed. Doesn't bother me. It's pretty dang close. So I'll just slide right down here, quick and easy. Altogether, this was a pretty easy layout. I just used some scrap paper to go around. My journaling will go here, where we were, the date, and this one's done. The last layout is going to be another quick one. So this is a 4x4 photo placement. And I didn't have any 2x2s I wanted to print, so it just automatically prints the same photo 2 more times. So I'm going to leave the white border around this one. I printed it with it. Typically for these, you'll need to cut down the middle of it if you want a white border on the 2x2s as well. But for this one, since these are just garbage, I am going to cut close to those. Now we are pretty close to the same border all the way around. I'm just gonna shave a hair off of this side. There we go. Let's see if it's the right size to fit on here. Perfect. That's my husband blowing the leaves off the roof. Thank goodness he does that because I do not want to get up there. No, thank you. And there's that layout. This one does not have a process video either, but I did a ton of stamping and layering, and it was pretty fun to put together. I have that little bow up top out of twine. Die cut all these circles. Can you see the stitching detail around all of those? This was a fun one to put together. So got my picture on. I don't know that this one needs any journaling. It's going into my 2023 album. So I know this is clearly fall of 2023. So this is going in just as is. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you know I have a ton of Christmas layouts. I created all of these prior to Christmas of 2023. There's more layouts here than what I have pictures for, so I think these are going to bleed into 2024 Christmas. Now I need to decide which layouts I want to go with which pictures. So we're going to do that together, and it's going to be a lot. I have Christmas with my in-laws, Christmas with my family, and of course my nephew's first Christmas. And then instead of watching a whole bunch of Christmas movies this year, my husband and I read a couple Christmas books. Of course, The Grinch. This is our little family, our dogs, our rabbit, and we just read. So that was fun. So that could go on a Christmas layout as well. They were Christmas books. And then that's about it for Christmas. What I'm thinking is I'll go through my layouts and see which ones I want for the Christmas reading, which ones I want for my Christmas with my side, and then which ones I want for Christmas with my in-laws. Okay, so I'm going to go through those and maybe delete some pictures that I know I don't want in my book, and then we will get going from there. All right, guys, I believe I have picked out the layouts I want to use for the Christmas pictures. I think I am going to bring this one in for the ones with my in-laws. We actually exchanged gifts this year with them, and so this one, giving gifts and believe, and the presents down below, I just felt like this layout went better with those pictures. I'm not quite sure which one I want to use for the one with my nephew's first Christmas. I thought this one, and if you saw this layout on my Instagram or on my YouTube, the Christmas share, this one would have been on there. And I actually changed it up a little bit. This one was a horizontal going across here, and I switched it to vertical and did another smaller vertical. So this one would be good for Christmas with my nephew. Or I have this one, and this one has lots of room for photos. It's nice and simple, and I know the pictures are very lots of colors going on and whatnot. So I thought maybe this more simple layout and the spot for journaling would be nice. But this one, I could either add journaling here or in one of my flip-flops. I know I'm gonna need flip-flops no matter what, because the picture of my nephew's first Christmas, lots of pictures of everybody, and I want to include my grandparents and my great aunt. I know I'm going to need flip-flops either way. So I got all of the pictures at my in-laws printed out here. So I know I'm going to need some flip-flops. So my father-in-law got a guitar that they had signed by Skillet. We had meet and greets with them. That was fun. So I want those pictures together, probably in a flip-flap. And I'm not sure what picture on top. And then these pictures, my brother-in-law is trying to hide his face, and then I caught him not hiding his face. So I think those will go in a flip-flap. I'm thinking maybe something like this down here. My father-in-law and his dog got matching shirts. We didn't decorate for Christmas this year, so this was our Christmas tree. Our camper Christmas tree came into the house. And then I don't know which one I want. I might have that flipped up, so then that one's taped down. But then what picture do I put on top? And then this one really could go in a flip-flap as well. I have their decor. I have Colin and his grandma playing a game. That could go over with the games. Maybe here. Have this one flip up, and then have that one taped down. And then we need something for over the top of this one though. Unless I do my journaling under there. I could do my journaling there. Or my journaling over here. Could go like that, and then have the journaling under that one. And then these pictures could probably be hidden too. Maybe go like that. I know I have room that I really could put, you know, another one down here, and I could spread these out. I could do something like that, but I'm thinking it might look less clustered to hide some of them. Plus, like this one, it's funny because the bag was so big. We helped wrap the guitar. We wrapped the guitar at home. So the big guitar case was in that. So I fit in it. I'm standing in the bag in that picture. So it's a funny story, but I don't think it needs to be a focal point. It wasn't, you know, Christmas. It was us wrapping it. So, and then same with this one. It's funny, but it could hide. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. And then this picture, just kind of, this is Christmas. So like This is their Cocker Spaniel. And she jumped up on the couch behind us like, okay, I'm ready for my close-up. And we're like, okay, we'll take a selfie with you. All right. So with our flip flaps, you've seen me using these ones that flip up, but so I'm going to use that there. But we also have flip flaps. They come together in one pack that flip up, but the long strip, see the difference? The long strip's at the top, so it's more for horizontal. Okay. I am going to tape these down, or tape these together so that they don't move around inside the flip flap. This one, I am going to wait to adhere. I need to do some journaling back behind this one, and I will adhere those together. So then I'll get that put in there, and that'll go on there. So there is that finished layout. Check. This is the one where we're reading the Christmas stories. I ended up putting them on this layout, and I just have the one flip flap on there. So whole family, we got our 2 dogs and our rabbit. That's our life. So got that one done as well. Now I'm still debating which one I want to do with my nephew's first Christmas. Still debating, still trying to decide which pictures I want, large, small. I really do think this one will be best. I got this layout done. So because the Pocket Plus cards from Close to My Heart were not exact 4x6s, 3x4s, I struggled. I did it all off camera because I struggled. So the only one that is a true size 3x4 is these. So those were able to fit flip flaps perfectly. So if this was my sister's scrapbook, she probably would have wanted baby's first Christmas on top. But since it's mine, I want my husband on top. So those were easy to put on there. These ones, not so much. These ended up going down 3.5 by 5.25 to allow for a white frame and for that Pocket Plus card to show. So as you can see, it doesn't fill that entire flip flap, which I'm okay with because then you can see that border. So there's that. And then these two, I struggled. So the pictures are 2x3s. And then I wanted to be able to leave that white around plus the Pocket Plus card frame. So I don't mind how that looks, but we don't have a flip flap 2x3. So I took a 3x3 flip flap and I folded it and I creased it and tucked it back behind the other picture. So when there's no pressure, it just bounces back up. I like the concept, I like the idea, but it wasn't completely thought through. So I wouldn't recommend doing that. I think I might just cut the page protector, allow this to hang out like that. Same with this one. This one's a little different because of that. I don't know if I should probably try to, I don't know. I struggled. So I will cut the page protector here, allow that to hold up, to flop out, and then just the pressure of the book being closed will hopefully flatten out more over the years. We'll see. So I'm going to add my journaling here. Look at how happy his little face is. All right, guys, we got a ton of layouts done today. I'm excited to get these put in my finished album. I do have a little bit of journaling to finish up, and then those are going in. I'm doing that today. It's getting done. So I hope this video brought you some inspiration. I hope it helps to see what my scrapbooking process is and my thoughts behind it. Obviously that changes whether I have the pictures printed, if I have the pictures even taken yet, or if I do layout before, after, if I use pictures and layout. I do it all sorts of different ways. So let me know down in the comments below, how do you do your scrapbooking? Do you always print your pictures and then create the layout around them? Or do you sometimes do the layout first and then print your pictures? So let me know down below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and until next time, live a life worth scrapping. Bye guys. Where's my coffee?